I haven't said anything to the in relation to the question of trust or to the matter of trust that you mentioned in your question. So these are your own words. What I can tell you about is that the President will make a thorough assessment of the situation. At the same time, and on the other hand, work continues at the Commission, and I think we had the opportunity to discuss in this press room about the fact that even work in relation to trade, which is the portfolio of Commissioner Hogan, continues unabated. And last Friday, we had an important announcement to make in relation to trade relations with the United States. So the President is, of course, committed and determined that this matter or any other matter do not distract the Commission from the important work that it has to conduct in relation to addressing the coronavirus pandemic, but also in relation to all of the other important files that the Commission deals with. I believe that Joe has a question now. Joe, go ahead.
Thank you, Dana. So you keep referencing the fact that Ursula von der Leyen, the President, is still yet to make her decision, but at this point in time, does she have the same level of trust in Phil Hogan as she did when she first asked him to be the European Commissioner's Trade Commissioner? Thank you.
Thank you for the question, Joe, which refers back to the sense of the questions that your predecessors asked and which I tried to answer. So the matter is that the President is in the course of making her assessment. And before making her assessment, it is impossible, and I'm not going to enter into any discussion referring trust, confidence, or anything else. So this is where we stand now. We are less than 24 hours following the submission of that detailed report by Commissioner Hogan. It is important to have a complete and fair assessment of that report, and this is the stage where we are in the process. Now, I have nothing else to announce in relation to how the President feels about this matter before she completes her assessment, and you will know that in due time after she has done so. But good try. I understand that Jennifer now has a question in relation to this, I suppose. Go ahead, Jennifer. Jennifer, can you hear us? I understand that you are yet to press the speak button, without which we can...
Oh, no, I had pressed the speak. Okay, maybe I muted myself, so apologies. On the process, I understand you've already been asked about when the Commission President might reach her conclusions, but can you shed any more light on whether this could be days, whether this could be weeks, because potentially this affair is quite distracting for the Commission and is already causing a lot of questions about the Commissioner, and it would be helpful to know if you could set out how quickly there might be a conclusion one way or the other. Thank you.
Thank you for the question, Jennifer. Indeed, it is impossible for me to say at what precise point in time the President will complete her assessment. As I said, it was less than 24 hours ago that she received that report from Commissioner Hogan, and she is looking at it carefully. And it is important for her that she has the full picture before announcing her conclusion and completing her assessment. And believe me, you will know it not a second after she has completed her assessment. We are ready and committed to communicate that to you speedily. I understand that David has a question on the same matter. Welcome back, David.
Thank you, Dana, and thank you for the floor. Just a quick question. Has the Commissioner Hogan respected the Belgian authorities' recommendation to quarantine and test after his return to Brussels on the 21st of August? Thank you.
Thank you very much for the question, David. I believe that you can have more detailed information after we get in touch for details with Commissioner Hogan himself, but from previous contacts we understand that he has taken care to meet the rules and the guidelines established by the government of Belgium in relation to his return to Brussels. This is a matter which is of course important for all commissioners as well as for all commission officials. And as I have had the opportunity to say that several times in this very place, it is a matter that the President takes seriously, and we expect compliance by commission officials with those requirements, which indeed we need to be alert because they are changing rapidly. You as inhabitants of Brussels know that as well as we do. I understand that now Jacob has a question. So Jacob, please go ahead.
Hi, just as a follow-up to my colleague Lily's question. So you said repeatedly that the Commission President is making a thorough assessment based on the timeline that Phil Hogan has given her. Is that the only source of information on his whereabouts that she has, or does she have access to any other sources to check that the timeline that he has given her is actually correct? Does she have access to these? And also, what does this assessment mean? I mean, if she's only doing it based on the timeline, then why is it taking longer than 24 hours? Because it's very clear that certain rules were broken and others weren't. What is she? What else is she doing that needs more time? What does this assessment comprise?
Thank you for your question, Jacob. As I was saying, the President wishes to have the full picture, and obviously the report submitted by Commissioner Hogan yesterday afternoon is a very important element in the assessment, but the President will of course take into account any other facts, matters or circumstances which she believes are relevant to elucidate this matter in order to enable her to take a decision which is fair and which is appropriate in this matter, which she believes is a serious one. Are there any other questions on the same topic? I believe that Daniela has a question about that. So, Daniela, please go ahead.
Yes, hello, thank you for the floor. It's also a follow-up on my colleague's question on the process. I wonder, will the President ask for more information from Commissioner Hogan? Does she have all the information she needs from him? And what other sources will she be relying to? Thank you.
Thank you for the question, Danielle. As I was just saying, the President considers the detailed report submitted by the Commissioner. There have been further contacts between the President and the Commissioner since the submission of the report, and the President will take into account any facts or information which she believes would be relevant to elucidate and to clarify the circumstances in which the movements referred to in that timeline took place. I now see that Naomi has requested the floor. So Naomi, please go ahead.
Thanks, Dana. Just a quick one. To my understanding, there are actually two dossiers. So there's what was published online, which is the itinerary with sort of justificatory notes. But then what Commissioner Hogan actually submitted to the President was a much longer document of 20 pages, which included a map and all kinds of things like that. Can you just confirm that's the case and tell us, describe a little bit what was the dossier submitted to the President and how it differs from the one online? Thank you.
Thank you for the question, Naomi. It would be very difficult to me to elaborate on the exact composition of any additional documents. The important document that matters is the one that was put in the public domain to ensure full transparency and to enable the President to make the assessment based on the facts and the circumstances in which those happened during the month of, from end July until mid-August. But I will not be able to give you details on whether any accompanying documents or technical sort of assistance documents like maps, as you referred to, were included in the document. The important document which states or which indicates the Commissioner's moves is the one that you have because it has been published online by Commissioner Hogan himself. Are there any additional questions on this matter at this stage? I see that Rolf has a question. So Raf, please go ahead.
Yes, hi. Good afternoon. I just wanted to know, how can you claim full transparency when you yourself make the decision what is an important document and what is not, and not then put everything out in the public domain? Thank you.
The document that the President will take into account as a basis to inform her assessment of this matter is the document which details the moves of Commissioner Hogan in Ireland from the end of July until the mid of August, when he returned to Brussels. The question from Naomi was whether there was a map of Ireland indicating where specific countings are, so basically to facilitate understanding of those moves. So this is, in my understanding, because Naomi referred to a map, that would be a completely technical document which would simply help identify or trace the move of the Commissioner for a clear understanding of the matter. If such a map was attached to that file, I would be more than happy that that map is published online by Commissioner Hogan next to the document which details the moves. But what I was saying is that the document which informs the President's assessment of the situation will be the report that you have seen online. Are there any additional questions on this matter? I do not see any other hand raised. Therefore, I will open the floor to other questions that you may have for us today.